I get this question a lot. How do you actually find a pharmacy assistant job in Toronto? And honestly, this was my question too when I first started. I remember applying online, waiting, checking my email, and hearing nothing back. So everything I'm sharing here is based on my own experience and what I've seen work for people around me, not theory. Most people start by applying through Indeed, Job Bank, or hoping for referrals. And yes, these ways can work, but for me personally, they didn't really work at the beginning. And I hear the same thing from a lot of friends. You apply, you wait, and sometimes you never even get an answer. That's why I don't believe relying on only one method is enough, especially in a city like Toronto. What really made the difference for me was LinkedIn. Not just having a profile, but actually using it intentionally. I started connecting with pharmacists and pharmacy managers regularly. I would go through their profiles, read about their journey, see where they studied, what course they took, and how they built their past year. That helped me understand the system better, but it also helped me communicate in a more thoughtful and professional way. When it comes to messaging people, I want to pause for a moment. I understand that for many of us, English is not our first language, it's our second language. And keeping messages professional sometimes takes more effort for us. That's completely normal. Communication is a skill, and like any other skills, it gets better with practice. What matters is that when we reach out, we introduce ourselves properly. We briefly explain who we are and we communicate with respect. Over time, we all improve, and that confidence slowly builds. Along with online networking, I also believe direct contact still matters, especially with independent pharmacies. Calling pharmacies, asking if they are hiring, or printing your resume and dropping it off in person can still make a difference. Some people choose to search region by region, checking pharmacies across different areas of the city instead of focusing on just one neighborhood. I actually did the same thing for my first job. I was commuting for almost 1 hour and a half. Imagine? It wasn't easy, but for me, it was worth it to get that first experience. That being said, everyone's situation is different, right? Some people can commute longer and some people can't. There's no right or wrong here. It really depends on your own life and responsibilities. Most job requirements say at least 1 year of experience. When I saw that, I told myself, okay, I'll get that first experience even if it means I have to travel more. That was the choice I made at that time. But again, this is very individual. Everyone has to decide what works for them personally. I also want to speak directly to pharmacists who were already licensed back home and are now PBC candidates working toward becoming registered pharmacists in Canada. This stage can be emotionally heavy. You have studied for years, you have had responsibilities, and now you're stepping into a different role in a new system. That shift alone takes a lot of emotional strength. I understand. Well, now, what I've learned during this stage is that how you see the role matters more than how you explain yourself. If you see this work only as something temporary or something you're doing just to survive, that feeling quietly shows up in the way you speak, the way you move, and the way you interact with people. Not because you say it loud, because people sense it. Really, they do. But when you care about the work, when you respect the role and the learning that comes with it, something changes. You become more present. You listen more. You help without forcing it, and that presence is felt. Patients feel it. Pharmacists feel it. Managers feel it. You don't need to prove anything or repeat your background. The way you work speaks for you. This role is not just about getting hired, it's about maintaining the job and moving forward within the system. When the work is done with care and real interest, trust builds naturally, and trust is what opens the next doors quietly and over time. One thing I also want to be honest about is preparation. This is something I wish um, I have done earlier. Even before getting the job, learning common C codes, studying about brands and generic names, and keeping myself updated with commonly used medications would have helped a lot. Preparation builds confidence, and confidence shows in conversations, interviews, and daily work. And one more thing, especially for those of you who are already working in another job while looking for a pharmacy assistant role. If this is you, do not panic. Having another job right now doesn't mean that you're off track. It means you're paying your bills and taking care of yourself while at the same time putting effort into finding the right path and the right place for you. Both things can exist together. You don't need to quit what you have without a plan. You can keep working, keep applying, and transition step by step. This journey already comes with enough pressure. There is no need to add financial stress on top of it. Finding a pharmacy assistant job in Toronto is possible. It takes patience, consistency, preparation, and care for the work. If you show up with that, opportunities do come. Trust me. If this video helped you, please send it to anyone you know who is on the same path. Maybe it can be useful for someone who is struggling right now or someone who feels alone in this process. You can also subscribe to Pharmacy and we can talk more and learn more together by sharing our experiences, stories, and knowledge.